Hi everyone, yasas que kalosirtate to another episode of Dimitra's Dishes. Today I have another delicious chicken sheet pan meal for you that's going to be on the table in about an hour, so you really can't beat that. Perfect for busy weeknights. You really can't have enough chicken and potato sheet pan dinner ideas, and this is just another one that's loaded with flavor. Let's get started. Let me show you how I make it. So I'm using drumsticks today. These are chicken drumsticks with the bone in and the skin on. They are beautiful because you really can't overcook them. They stay juicy even if you do cook them for a little bit longer, and they're the most inexpensive part of the chicken. You can do a combination of chicken drumsticks and maybe chicken thighs, or even chicken drumsticks and chicken wings if you enjoy them. I'm doing all chicken drumsticks, and even though, as usual, the recipe that I'm writing for the blog and for the videos calls for about 2.5 pounds of chicken. I'm using almost 5 pounds of chicken because it came in 3 packs and it's about 5 pounds, and I'm just gonna fill this tray up like I normally do. So use what you've got. That's what I'm trying to say, use what you've got. The best cuts of meat are gonna be meat with the bone in for this recipe because they do take a little bit longer. And like I said, either thighs or drumsticks because it cooks a little bit longer. If you're using chicken breast, it's not going to work because it'll just dry out. So keep that in mind. So I have the chicken in the bowl over here. Now I'll cut the potatoes in half. I'm just using these baby golden potatoes, 1.5 pounds of them. Cut them in half and put them in the bowl. And now we'll just make the marinade for everything. So I have lots of garlic cloves here. The recipe calls for 4, but because we have more chicken, there's lots more garlic in here. You measure garlic with your heart, just like you do feta cheese. So garlic is in here. I'll add olive oil and the juice of a lemon. You could do the juices of 2 lemon if you like it more lemony. But I'm also adding some red wine vinegar to this, so 1 lemon will be enough. Then we're going to season it with dried oregano, a heaping tablespoon of dried oregano, a teaspoon of ground cumin, salt. So I'll do about 1.5 teaspoons of salt, and then I'll sprinkle some more salt over the chicken and potatoes because they definitely need it. And some freshly cracked black pepper. Whisk this all together and pour it over the chicken and potatoes. Toss everything so that way it's coated in all of that flavor and that marinade. And then we'll just spread these in one even layer in a big sheet pan. Next, I have a bell pepper that I'm just going to dice up, and a red onion over here. I'll just dice that up too and just squeeze it here and there wherever there's space in the tray. We'll just stuff it in there. The tray is full and ready for the oven. You could sprinkle a little bit more salt and pepper at this point. Some crushed red pepper flakes are also really nice. I forgot to mention that I did add those. My oven is preheating to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. You can go all the way up to 450. Just, if you know your oven, adjust accordingly. If your oven already cooks at a higher heat, then do 425. If it's a little bit weak like mine is, then you could bump it up to 450. This is going to roast in there on the center rack for 35-40 minutes. Then I'll take the tray out of the oven and crumble in some feta cheese. And I also like to add the olives in at this point because they're going to release their juices. They're going to roast a little bit and intensify in flavor. And they're going to leave some of their briny flavor in wherever they touch. So they're delicious in this. If you're not a fan of olives, of course you can leave them out. But I'm using pitted Kalamata olives today. You can use green olives if that's what you like. I know that some supermarkets sell a variety of olives in a pack or sometimes in the salad bars. You can do a variety of olives if you want. I do recommend going with pitted olives just because it saves time. So just add the olives and the feta cheese to the pan. This is going to go back in the oven for another about 10 minutes. And by that time, the feta is going to melt in there. The olives are going to roast, and the potatoes should be fork tender at this point. The chicken is definitely fully cooked. It should have a nice crispy top on it, especially the sides that are exposed. I did flip the chicken over when I took it out. I forgot to say that. Before I added the feta and the olives, I flipped the chicken pieces over just so that it cooks evenly. It's delicious just like this, but I like to top it off with some finely chopped parsley. You can serve this with some lemon wedges so everyone can squeeze some more lemon on top, a nice green salad, some rice or pita bread. You can do this in so many ways. Let me know how you're doing it in the comment section down below, but it is ready to serve. And there you have it, a delicious weeknight dinner that can just be on the table in no time. That's going to be loaded with flavor. You have the brininess from the olives, the creaminess from the feta, the potatoes. get slightly crisp, but yet they're buttery and soft on the inside. The chicken, if you're using drumsticks with the skin on, the chicken should get crispy, at least the side that's up. And then it's just so good. Chicken drumsticks stay juicy, so I love using them. And they're a less expensive cut, so you really just cannot beat that. I hope you guys give this recipe a try. If you do, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. You can head on over to the website to print this recipe out, dimitrasdishes.com. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I'll see you all next time. Yes, us.